Madam Deputy Speaker, I have been authorized by Cabinet to make the following statement on the efforts of this government to strengthen the delivery of social services and improve support to vulnerable citizens throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Madam Deputy Speaker, today I rise not merely to speak about policy reform, but about people. This statement is therefore not about statistics alone. It is about dignity and fairness. Madam Deputy Speaker, and above all, it is about ensuring that the social protection system of Trinidad and Tobago reflects the realities faced by our citizens in 2026 and beyond. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Ministry of the People, Social Development and Family Services was deliberately repositioned under this government to place people at the centre of governance. For far too long, many vulnerable citizens felt alienated by systems that appear rigid, outdated and disconnected from the realities of inflation, rising living costs and changing social conditions. This government made a commitment to change that. Madam Deputy Speaker, in March 2018, the Standard Means Test, commonly referred to as the SMT, was introduced to standardize eligibility criteria for several social assistance programs, including the Food Support Program, the Public Assistance Grant, the SEED Program, and the selected General Assistance Grants. However, while the framework itself remained important, the poverty line underpinning the system had not been substantively updated since 2016. That meant that for almost a decade, vulnerable families were being assessed using benchmarks established before dramatic increases in food prices, transportation costs, housing expenses, utilities and healthcare burdens, and most importantly, the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. And that is the uncomfortable truth. Madam Deputy Speaker, a system designed to protect the vulnerable cannot remain frozen in time while the cost of survival continues to rise. Therefore, by Cabinet Minute 536 of July 31st, 2025, an interministerial committee was established to comprehensively review the Standard Means Test. Madam Deputy Speaker, this was not a superficial exercise. It was a deeply technical and evidence-based review process involving economists, statisticians, social policy specialists, health experts, planning professionals, and representatives from several ministries and institutions, including the University of the West Indies. Importantly, although the committee was given 6 months to complete its work, the final report was submitted in only 4 months. Madam Deputy Speaker, today I am proud to state that Cabinet approved the committee's recommendation in February 2026. Madam Deputy Speaker, one of the most significant reforms approved under the revised SMT framework is the updating of the poverty indicators themselves. The poverty line has moved from TT $1,439.02 to $2,044.23 per adult, equivalent per month, an increase of 42.1%. The indigence line has increased from $553.47 to $783.23. The vulnerability line has increased from $1,798.78 to $2,555.29. Madam Deputy Speaker, these figures acknowledge the painful reality that life has become more expensive for ordinary citizens. And most importantly, these revised thresholds mean that more genuinely vulnerable households will now qualify for assistance instead of being unfairly excluded under outdated criteria. This is not merely policy reform. This is social justice in action. Madam Deputy Speaker, another transformative reform approved by Cabinet is the introduction of a weighted income contribution model. Previously, household income calculations often overestimated the true financial capacity of families. Under the revised framework, the highest income earner contributes 100% of income to the assessment. The second highest earner contributes 75%, and all other earners contribute 50%. Why is this important? Because real households do not function like mathematical spreadsheets. This reform recognizes the realities of dependency within households and allows assessments to better reflect actual living conditions. Madam Deputy Speaker, another progressive reform emerging from this review is the introduction of an internet connectivity deduction of up to $316 per household per month. Some may ask, why internet? Madam Deputy Speaker, because in 2026, internet access is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. Children require connectivity for education, citizens require internet access for employment opportunities, healthcare information, government services, banking and communication. This reform acknowledges modern poverty in a digital age. Importantly, for a single income household, assessed at the revised poverty threshold, the combined effect of the updated poverty line and internet deduction may result in up to $921.21 in additional disposable income when determining eligibility. That adjustment alone may now allow a vulnerable family to qualify for the public assistance grant where previously they would have been excluded. Madam Deputy Speaker, the committee also retained important housing and health deductions because essential expenditures must be recognized when assessing vulnerability. A family paying rent cannot simply redirect those funds to food. A patient requiring recurring medication cannot simply ignore medical expenses in order to survive. Madam Deputy Speaker, implementation is equally critical. That is why the Ministry recently conducted intensive training exercises involving approximately 85 officers from key service delivery divisions to ensure consistency, accountability and proper application of the revised SMT framework. The revised SMT is scheduled to take effect from June 1st, 2026. Further, Madam Deputy Speaker, as part of the implementation of the revised standard means test, the Ministry developed an in-house standard means test digital calculator, an electronic tool specifically designed to compute the revised SMT with greater speed, precision and consistency. This simple yet transformative innovation significantly reduces the possibility of human error while eliminating much of the subjectivity that can inadvertently arise in manual calculations and determinations. The introduction of this digital calculator therefore promotes greater impartiality, transparency and uniformity across the Ministry's service delivery network. Importantly, this practical technological advancement was conceptualized and developed internally by dedicated officers of the Ministry without imposing any significant burden to the coffers of the state. It stands as a powerful example that meaning transformation does not always require extravagant expenditure, but rather vision, commitment and innovation within the public service. Madam Deputy Speaker, compassion is measured by action. The government established review, assembled the technical expertise, modernized the poverty thresholds, recognized digital inclusion as a necessity, and this government moved the rhetoric to implementation in record time. That is the record. Madam Deputy Speaker, social protection is not charity, it is nation building. Madam Deputy Speaker, as Minister of the People, I reaffirm today that under this government, social development will never be treated as an afterthought. The poor and vulnerable will never be invisible, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago will always remain at the center of national development. I thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.